What advice would you give to young people? I'm thinking of some MBA students that I'm teaching at the moment. How would you advise them? They're at a time in their life where they have great concern about their future career, the decisions they make. How does meditation going to help them? Would you advise them to meditate?
Well, first of all, I want to say that the most important thing I could tell them is I have a saying that pain plus reflection equals progress. And what I mean by that is if every time they take a pain, that will be, they're experiencing that pain, that's an amygdala emotional reaction. If they can then come out of that pain and then look at it objectively, what is it? Pain is a signaling device. And so if you can look at that, there's a lesson because you can do something. Because another one of those is going to come along many, 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 many times in your life. And if you can come out of that one painful experience and learn a lesson that'll help you in the next time, that will be terrific. And what happens in meditation, there are two things I'd say pertaining to meditation. Meditation will help to reduce the pain of that moment and help to increase the reflection. And the other thing about it is, I think that most people think that the way that they're going to make the most progress is in their conscious mind. In other words, put as much into your conscious mind as possible and have your conscious mind work as hard as it possibly can in order to achieve the goal, and that'll be effective. And they don't know the path of going into the nothingness, the void, and what's coming inside. Because when you go inside and you relieve that, and you're also letting this subconscious creativity, imagination, all of those other elements come out. And through meditation, you're going to begin to experience these ideas coming out, this creativity coming out, this type of thing that doesn't happen because you're working hard. The great ideas, the creativity come like from being relaxed, you're in a hot shower and all of a sudden it comes to you and you have to grab it because it'll pass you by. It's not because you're working at it. And so to allow yourself the 20 minutes twice a day, or the best you can do, but to allow yourself that is going to be to release that creativity as well as to get you centered, and it's going to have such a payoff in terms of thinking strategically and going above it. And it's not in just grinding it out harder.
I once asked Mr. Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore if he would recommend to world leaders when they come together for a summit meeting to meditate together. Let me ask you if you would recommend business leaders to meditate at the beginning of their meetings.
Oh, I think it would be great if they would do it, because I know it changes your state of mind. I'm sure your students start to experience this. As you come through a meditation, and then you come out of that meditation and you have your communication, it's just so much more effective. It's a way that not only ahead of the meeting, but at any time you're receiving anxiety, you can step aside and you can relieve that anxiety. So many times I would recommend on different occasions to meditate. Meditation, I've said it many times, is the greatest gift that I can give anyone.
What is your actual daily practice of meditation now?
I think I meditate probably 60 or 70% of the days, twice a day, and probably the rest, almost all the rest, once a day. And then there'll be some times where I'll figure I'll need an extra meditation, so I'll slip it in.
In the middle of the day?
Yeah, in any time. In other words, it'll be a time where I'll say, I could feel it.
Do you normally meditate on your own?
I do, sometimes with my wife, sometimes with my family.
In your company at Bridgewater, do you recommend your employees, the people you work with, to meditate? Do you make it easy for them to meditate? How does meditation fit into the work ethic and practice of the company?
I've offered meditation to all my employees, and I under agreement that I'll pay for half if they pay for half, so that I know that they have skin in the game. And the word of mouth has gotten around, and So, there we have an awful lot of meditators. And people, by the way, who are real skeptics.
Do you have
I'm sorry.
No, go on. Sorry,
Okay.
but why are they skeptical?
Well, so many people, people have other things to do, like if they're wanting to be physically fit, they're exercising. And then some people say, I hear this or that about it, and maybe it sounded a little flower childish, or maybe one thing or another. But those people, many of them have come around and experienced the meditation. And so the great thing about it has been that when they experience it, they say, well, if it comes from that other person, that person who is that sort of person, like, a Navy SEAL. Okay, when you have a Navy SEAL who said, I can't do without meditation, and he's been in stress and so on, and that heads of our company and all of those people who were of that sort, where they just didn't come around to it easily, and then they say they can't do without it, it then is caught on.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I would say, I think the one thing I would probably emphasize to your students is that I don't know anybody who is stuck with it, who has been able then after a while to live without it. You have to sort of push it through to get to the point where you've got it and it's feeling good and that you never want it to stop.
John Maine used to say the mantra is caught, not taught. Would you agree with that?
Oh, that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, because and you really get the point when you see the fruits, the benefits in other people as well.
It's so easy in the beginning to slip away from it. So everybody, can I address some of the traps that I think exist? I think a very common trap is restlessness when you're starting to do it. You get impatient. I think that should be, and you see all these ideas come to you. I think that that's a very clear sign that you need it. If you can't shut yourself down for 20 minutes, then and be still for 20 minutes, you take it as a sign that you need it.
If you're too busy to meditate, you're too busy.
Yeah, something, you have to give yourself that gift. And then I think the other dimension is that you have to make it a habit. And you have to just get to the point where you're giving it enough of a chance that you can enjoy it. It might be similar to learning yoga, or even, let's say, exercising, going to the gym. And when you first start out exercising, going to the gym, you say, this is a pain and I'm not comfortable doing it. And then after a while, you can't not do it. And so I think meditation is like that. Once you get to that point, believe me, and believe so many other people, that it will be life-changing.
Life-changing for the individual and for the environment of the company. We live in a world where a lot of unethical values have crept into public life, as well as private corporations and so on, banking and lots of other areas of life. A lot of corruption in the third world, the developing world. Do you really think that meditation can redress or correct that?
I think a lot of the corruption is due to two things. First of all, I think it's due to a short-sightedness. I mean, maybe if somebody's family is starving, or you're at a certain level, it's one thing. But if you're now giving up what you give up in order to be corrupt, and you think about what it means in terms of the consequences, it's really kind of a negative expected value. And then I think the second thing is that as you start to feel connected to the whole, and you realize that there's like an ecology, that you're part of that ecology, and there is such a thing as what goes around comes around, all of that just changes things in a certain way.
By far the best investment you can make is in yourself. If you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.